Hi everybody, welcome back to my LinkedIn Lives. I'm Jasmine Navarro, certified wellbeing expert working in educational institutions and companies, helping support family wellbeing. As you know, every week I interview different experts who make a difference. And today I'm super excited to be interviewing Noona. Hi Noona, thank you so much for coming on. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
I will. Firstly, Jasmine, thank you so much for inviting me on. I know we talked about coming on months ago, but you're so popular. You've got such a big waiting list. So I'm 6 months. I'm so honoured to come on. My name's Noona. I'm the CEO of a company called Noona. And Noona is a coaching company. We do one-to-one executive coaching for people in their careers. And then we also do corporate coaching as well.
Wow. No, it has been such a long time. And I just remember, in fact, the last time I saw you, I think it's when you did that talk, and it was absolutely amazing. Blew me away. So I'm so happy that you've come on. So this title, you chose this title, How Your Internal World Reflects Your Outer World. It sounds very amazing. Can you explain what that means and what made you choose this title for today?
Yeah, so it took me a really long time to understand that I created my own reality. And it was a long journey through a lot of pain. And I, like many people that I coach and that I train as well or mentor, really was hanging on to the fact that the reason why things were happening to me was it was everyone else's fault. And I was the victim. They didn't understand me. They were mean, and nobody really got how hard it was because things were so tough for me. And that carried on for quite a long time until somebody said to me, there's one common denominator in all of your problems in life. And I looked at them like they'd grown two heads. And I have to say, it was one of the most scariest things to take on and to admit that I was the one who was creating all of these, I guess my own reality. And even though it was the most scariest thing for me to get, it's also been the most freeing, the most liberating, and the most empowering because I've got to own all of my emotions. The fact that my happiness is on me, my sadness is on me, my anger is on me. And it's something that I think when we can all take radical responsibility for the way that we show up and the stories that we tell ourselves and the reality that we create, we will live in a world where people are really owning what's happening to them and why it's happening to them. And it's so liberating. That's why I chose it.
No, I think it's such an important topic, and I think we can all benefit from this. But like you said, somebody said the common denominator was you. Was that like was that enough for you to be like, okay, I need to did the light bulb go off at that moment then, or had you had coaching? Because there's a lot of awareness, isn't it? And that's quite was that the final straw, or how did you actually?
It was it was when I was doing my NLP training. I trained to be an NLP practitioner. Before that, I had gone to a workshop about triggers and getting triggered. I always thought that the reason why I got angry was because everyone in my life was making me angry. And so I'd gone to this NLP course. I must have been about 26, and he had said that the reason why we get triggered is because of the way that we are choosing to look at things, and we are the common denominator in everything. And it really knocked me off my seat a bit because I really struggled to buy into that. I so didn't want to believe that, and it really served me at that time to blame everyone else, blame my boss and blame my parents and blame my friends and my partner at the time and all of those things. And what he taught us in that session was that if we are allowing other people to control our moods, we are literally like a keyboard, handing people the keyboard, saying, can you press this button so you can tell me how I want to feel today? So if you press this, I'm going to be angry. If you press this. But he said, how about we turn the keyboard and we get to choose which buttons we feel? And it wasn't about never being triggered. That's not, because you are going to get triggered, because we are human and we create stories, and that's how our brain works. What it's about is about owning our own triggers and being 100% responsible for how we react to those triggers. So do we go into victim mode? Do we go into, playing the child? Do we go into self-saboteur? Or do we go into, okay, this is happening, I feel this. Can I just sit with the anger that I'm feeling right now? Do I have to make it mean anything? And do I compound it into, oh my God, my life is so bad, everyone always treats me so badly? Or can it be that I didn't like that and I'm feeling angry, but I'm choosing to feel angry and I'm okay with feeling that? And that was the turning point for me.
Oh, wow. That's so powerful. That's so powerful. I think, well, yeah, because you have that, you deepen your awareness, don't you? So it sounds like, so what happened for you then? So when you started being triggered in the future, you stopped and you paused?
I didn't, and it didn't happen overnight. I mean, this is nearly 20, maybe 30, my age here. It's when I was 26, so it was nearly 20 years ago. I'm 45 in November. It's more the fact that when I'm getting triggered, I'm not blaming anyone else. I can say I didn't like that, and I'm choosing to feel anger, and I'm okay with that. And also the fact that me being angry doesn't mean anything about me.
Okay, so no judgment either.
Yeah, it's having real self-compassion, and that's where I also learned so much about emotional intelligence, that the more I can sit with my own emotions, the more I can hold those emotions for other people. Because when I couldn't sit with my own anger, having other people be angry felt really unsafe.
Yes.
It didn't feel safe for me either.
It's so powerful. It's so powerful, all of this. So working on your internal world, reflecting your outer world. So how has this helped you in your work life, family life? Tell us about that.
Massively. So basically, I think one of the things is we all have certain beliefs about ourselves that we picked up as children, and they can be limiting beliefs, and they're generally, the way that a belief is limiting is they're very short sentences, like, I can't do that, I'm not good enough, everyone's going to laugh at me. They're things that are very childlike, because we picked them up as children.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, so they're not like, oh, I don't feel that I can do this, because they're not like sophisticated language. They're really like, nobody loves me, I'm not worth it, why did this always happen to me? So that's how you can identify that it's a limiting belief, and a belief that you picked up as a child. So when you have these beliefs, we have something that's called a cognitive bias, and we base our decisions on things that we already believe. So if you believe that you're not good enough, your brain is going to find evidence for everything that it can to prove that it's right, because our brain's function is to keep us safe.
Yes.
That's what it's there for, and to survive. So our brain doesn't want to make a liar of us, ever. Okay. So whatever you hold on to of a belief, it is going to search evidence to make that true.
whether it serves you or not. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it serves you. Yeah,
it doesn't matter if it serves you or not, but it never wants to make you a liar, because that feels really unsafe. Like, how can you think that you're lying to yourself? So this is where the cognitive bias can come in for ourselves. Like, if you think that you're not good enough and you don't get a promotion, rather than your brain going into, okay, I didn't get this promotion, what is it that I need to do to ensure that the next time the promotions get given out, I'm going to be in line for it? We go into self-sabotage of getting demotivated, thinking we're in the wrong job, thinking everyone in our job hates us. I knew this was going to happen. And then we look for another job, and then the same thing comes up, but it's dressed up in a different scenario. So it's a very powerful thing to know, when you know that your brain works in that way, and you can stand back and see, like, oh, I can see how I'm making everything to be true because of this belief that I have. And then once you do that, it's not about just changing your belief, but it's about understanding where that belief came from, how that belief has served you. And once you understand how that belief has served you, you loosen the shackles of it, because it's not gripped onto you. So you loosen it, and then you start challenging it and saying, well, what if so in the example of the promotion, it's more like, so what if I did feel worthy? How would I show up now in the fact that I didn't get a promotion? Okay, well, if I felt really worthy and really good at my job and that I deserved it, I would probably go to my boss and sit down and explain that I'm very upset that I didn't get it. What needs to be in place for me to be in line for the next promotion? And then they would sit down and they would speak to you, and then you can think, okay, well, maybe there was a gap in how I was showing up and how I was being at work to what I wanted. Maybe I can get that gap smaller, and then the way that you show up is different. You're still motivated. You're not making it mean anything about you, which is further demotivating yourself. So that's the power of understanding how, because everything around us starts with our own mind and our story. It's really, really powerful. And this is the work that I think, if we were able to all get it, we would be less angry, less, playing the victim, and be able to go for what it is that we want, because we're not limiting ourselves by the thoughts that we have about ourselves.
No, you're right. I mean, it's life-changing, because I think sometimes, maybe you think people sometimes don't want to, like you said, you were in your own way as well. Do you think maybe people just get overwhelmed? Because when you realize, sometimes part of that journey, you realize that you're in your own way, that can be quite overwhelming, can't it? Because it's like, holy, I have to change a lot of things, because it's all me. And I think maybe sometimes when people realize that, they might get scared and then just go back into what they know, even though it's not serving them, but it's comfortable.
Yeah, and in a way, it might not be serving them, but it actually is.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yes. You're right. Yes.
Keeping them safe.
Yes.
There's a payoff.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a real payoff, which is why, so when people come and work with me and they say, I really want to do public speaking, but I just can't. And I said, okay, well, how is the thought that you can't serving you? And they will look at me and say, well, it's not, because I really do want to do some more public speaking, because that will get me more promoted. That would get me a bigger promotion. That would mean that I'm more visible to my team. There is no way this is serving me. And then when we really go into it and look at it, what it turns out is them holding on to the belief that they're not good at public speaking is serving them. Because the thought, I said, okay, so what if tomorrow you had an opportunity to go and speak in front of 1,000 people? How would that feel? And they said, I'd want the floor to swallow. So it's serving them.
is serving them.
Absolutely, 100% serving them.
And just having that awareness is because maybe they don't even know that they're even having that thought process, do they?
But how powerful is it to know, actually, I'm not doing public speaking because I don't want to, as opposed to it's so unfair that I can't do it and everyone else can.
Yes, I know. I tell you what, I had that victim mentality, and sometimes it still comes, and I'm like, no, stop, stop. But I had it for years, my whole life. I think I always went into that. Oh, they're doing something, or it's not my fault, or whatever. Poor me. And it's so you just get so used to it, don't you? Because when you've been thinking that way for 20 years or more, like it takes time, doesn't it? It still comes back.
Absolutely. And also, Jasmine, this isn't like a Jasmine problem. This is a human problem. All us humans are our prime role is to be safe.
Yes.
Obviously, in our mind, we are, and our brain hasn't changed that much from the Neanderthal days. It hasn't developed. So where before we would feel scared, it would have to be fight or flight because we didn't want to get eaten by a tiger. Now the fear is doing public speaking.
Yeah.
So our brain is going to do everything it can to keep us safe by telling us, don't do it, there's no point, it's unsafe, it's too scary. But if you can understand that, then you can use your mind to work with you and not against you. That's what they call a growth mindset. That's what they call stepping out your comfort zone. But what happens is that unfortunately, so many people think it's a them problem, and then they go more into victimhood and self-sabotage and all of that. We all have beliefs that do not serve us. Every single human being on this earth has that. It's a human way of being. But it's once you can understand the mechanism that we're using to keep us safe, then you start loosening the shackles a bit and you start sitting with it. And really, it's not that we have to do anything. We just have to uncover these little blind spots and see it. And then once you see it, you can never unsee it. And then you can start working on it and developing yourself and stepping out your comfort zone a bit more.
No, exactly. Let me just say hi to Tony. Hi, Tony. How are you doing? And hi, Jagmanda. How are you? And hi to everybody else who's joining. Please let us know if you have any comments or questions. We love to hear from you as well. So Noona, no, it's extremely powerful, and I learn something every day. So the common problems that people come to you with, so is it mainly about public speaking and promotion? Are there any other things that people...
Yeah, so most people come to me is that they have got to the point in their career where really they've achieved so much. They're earning good money, they're in decent careers, but they feel a bit stuck. They don't know where to go next. So, when you're first starting your career, you're hustling and you will do anything that you will do to get to where you want to get to. But when you get a bit older, you've got a mortgage, you've got maybe a family, you've got responsibilities, you can't just do whatever you want. So what happens, we hold ourselves back a bit. We don't speak in meetings as much as we used to. We don't have this I'll just do anything attitude as we used to. And this frustration builds up a bit more and a bit more. And then we start feeling a bit stuck. So a lot of people who come to me are like, I'm at this stage in my career where I want so much more, but I don't know how to get it, because your limiting belief will create a ceiling for you where you can still do a lot with some limiting belief, and it can really serve you to have these beliefs that I'm not good enough, because it can serve you that you're going to prove it wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're either fighting against it or with it, one way or another. But there comes a point where you can no longer fight against the limiting belief, and that's where we end up feeling stuck and frustrated, and we're going around, we'll have days where tomorrow is going to be better. Tomorrow I'm going to try harder. And we have these moments of freedom, and then we get back into like, oh God, I don't feel in my gut and everything. I don't feel free to do what it is that I want to do. And that's where I come in and really uncover what their blind spots are, and help them to gain more clarity, more confidence, and do all the shackles that are kind of stopping them from reaching. There's a ceiling on their earnings, ceilings on their career. It might be that they want to set up a new business. It might just be that they're so frustrated at work, they've even lost the connection with their partners at home, and they're not able to connect, or maybe they're not able to even find a relationship. There's so many different things that come up. And then when people come and work with me, they get really shocked that I'm not just giving them strategies on how to perform better at work, because I truly believe that you can have all the strategies in the world, but unless you understand what is happening in your mind to hold you back, nothing's going to happen. So we work internally to uncover what's holding you back, and then we work on the strategies, and people just propel after that.
Wow. So like you said, it's in, you have to work on the inside things first. You can't, because a lot of people will say, I'll be happier when I have that new job or that promotion or new relationship, then I'll be happy. But you're saying it's the opposite, aren't you? Which I totally agree with.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like I said, we're the common denominator of everything that happens in life. And you see this with so many people who keep changing jobs, and it's the same issue at work, but they're different faces.
Yeah.
It's the issue of feeling like nobody appreciates me at work, nobody respects my workload, nobody respects my time. Everyone, crosses my boundaries. It's the same issue, just company.
Different person, different place.
Same relationships. People change relationships, yet the same issue turns up.
Yes.
I commit, or I keep attracting people who are emotionally unavailable. All of these things, it's the same issue, because we're the ones who are projecting our own beliefs onto the reality that's happening in front of us.
It's quite scary, actually. Do you think, or let me just say hello to Ashlyn first. Hi, Ashlyn. She says, so important to step outside your comfort zone. That's how we grow. Thanks, really? Ash. So true. Yeah. No, thanks, Ash. I've lost what I was going to say now.
It will come to you. It will come to you. You think it's really scary?
Yeah, it's really scary because, this can take, I know it took me a long time to get to that point where I realized I need to explore this because it's actually me in my own way. Do you think we always need someone to work with to do this? Because I feel like if you don't have someone to work with, it can take like 10, 20 years sometimes. Or is that just me?
No, it's not just you. I think it's finding the right person, and you can, I can uncover somebody's blind spots in 1 or 2 sessions.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, it's not just uncovering your blind spot, because once you've uncovered uncovered somebody's blind spot, that's where the work starts.
Yeah.
Because it's really scary if your identity has been playing the victim, and then suddenly you have to take responsibility for what's happened. How are you showing up differently? It's the being of who you are. So what if you no longer have that story where you're the victim? Then what? Then there's an identity crisis. So the work that I do is then helping them to operate and be at work with a whole new set of beliefs that it feels raw. But if you've got someone holding your hand, supporting you, and being able to show you where your brain is going. I mean, I think the most dangerous thing on earth is an unmanaged mind. I think it's so scary when somebody can't manage their thoughts or actions or emotions. It's scary for us and scary for the people around you. And that's why I love and so passionate about the work that I do, because people can really transform their lives in 3 to 6 months. I've seen it over and over and over again. So, you could try and do it on your own. It will be scary. or you can just find the right person who can support you.
No, definitely. And how do you think, like, when should somebody seek finding somebody to help them? Like, is it just like you said that maybe they're feeling stuck, or because I'm sure there's a lot of people, like I speak to a lot of people who are not happy with their job or relationship or something. Like,
Yeah, it really depends. It's some people come to me when they just feel like they just can't go another day feeling like this anymore.
yeah,
They've tried everything. But then some people come to me and they're like, I know something's off, but I'm really busy, and I'm like, this is the best time to do it, because we are all always busy. We always have things coming up. The best time for me are when people are like, right, I am so ready. I am ready to do this work, because I just can't carry on like this. And that's, and it's not that people who come to me, they're not broken. I don't think anyone's broken.
No, yeah.
Everyone's whole and complete already. My job is to get them to see what everyone else sees in them. And majority, we don't see in ourselves what everyone else sees in us. If we can just turn that around and start seeing, when people are giving us a compliment, start believing them, that's half the work done, really.
I think so. Well, I think also as well, I don't know what you think, but it is a commitment, isn't it? I think this working on yourself. I mean, once I've started, I can't stop now, because
it's like Pandora's box, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But I think you have to be, like you said, ready for commitment and ready to do the work. Yeah, because it's not always, of course, it's powerful, and then you have all these realizations and your life changes for the better. But sometimes you just don't want to do it, and you don't feel like it, and you want to give up, maybe. But I think you need a level of commitment, don't you? So, like you said, being ready.
Being ready, and really, it's a commitment to yourself. It's really committing to yourself, that really wanting to show up as the best version of you, for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for anyone who comes in, but really to yourself, because you deserve to sit in this body and be really comfortable with who you are, and feel really good in yourself. Like, everyone deserves to feel like that. So yeah, it is a commitment. I'm conscious.
And what do you say to people who say, positive, like toxic positivity? Or because a lot of people say to me, well, not a lot, but they used to, you can't be negative, you're a coach, you need to be positive all the time. And like I always say, there's no such thing as positive or negative emotion. It's just maybe comfortable.
I don't think that's true, and I don't think it's about positivity. I think it's about, as I said in the beginning, taking radical responsibility for how you are showing up. And I am originally Iraqi. I'm very hot-headed. I have, yes, I do. The Arabs are, as Iraqis anyway, we can lose our temper, and that's not something that's just going to go in me. That is part of my personality. I'm a highly emotional person, and I cry. I can, I can get angry. It's not about. I'm a human having a human experience in this world. So it's not about being happy all the time, because I'm not ChatGPT. It's about owning my emotions and being comfortable with my own sadness and disappointment and frustration and anger. Because if I can own my own emotions, then the way that I'm showing up and the person that I'm being is someone who is 100% responsible for creating my own reality. That is the most powerful person in the room.
Oh, I love that. Noona. I think that is so important, isn't it? How we respond to our emotions.
Exactly. And being comfortable with it. It's crazy to think that we can be happy all the time. It's just it's impossible.
No, and we're not supposed to be, are we? Like you said, it's a human experience. We're supposed to have all of these emotions, and it means that our body's working properly.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's really important.
And Ash says you're always evolving, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, always finding out who we are and things like that. No, thank you so much, Noona. Is there anything else? Yeah, is there anything else you want to say before you go? And also, how can people find you?
No, I think we covered quite a lot in that 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
I'm quite active on LinkedIn. I'm active on Instagram. And my website is under Neo Noor. You can find me online really, really easily.
Amazing. Noona is absolutely fabulous. You need to go to one of her talks.
Thank you.
No, and thank you so much, Noona. And thank you everybody else for coming. And I will see you next week.
Bye.